There we go. There we go. Welcome, dear friends. Welcome. Let me, if I could, bring you up to speed and give you an idea of what is happening here, which is critical. Last night, I had one of the most important revelations of my life, which I want to recall to you. And before we begin, let me just thank you all for being with us. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for subscribing and for being so incredibly kind. So incredibly kind. Hillbilly 55, thank you right off the bat, dear friend. Nothing wrong with being a hillbilly. I want to bring to your attention something that happened last night. I was referencing that I was a bit trepidatious about having been invited to appear at a group that will remain nameless, but a group of, in essence, political expats, people who are in exile, people who have been, I guess, people in the fringes of society who have never been able to publicly explicate and enjoy and revel in their, for lack of a better word, conspiracy, their conservatism and the like. And as I said, I said, okay, because whenever I go, it's always, whenever I've met with people, I always run into one hack or another. I was so delightfully surprised. It gave me hope that there is a powerful, there is a group of people who are here, who are a part of our world, who I hope recognize the fact that we are on, I believe, the brink of something very, very important and critical in terms of what's changing. There are people out there who absolutely positively crave not necessarily the truth, but the ability to say, to explicate, to demonstrate that which it truly believes to be true. Patriots, call them whatever you want. Call them patriots, call them, I don't even know. I don't know what the word is. But it was wonderful. It's a group of people who for the longest time have, by virtue of their employment, society, have almost had to keep their kind of a Trumpian conservatism quiet. And I think that that's been somewhat lessened just a tad. I believe it's still there. There's no doubt about that, but it's still there. And what we're seeing also, especially as we try to discuss Israel and what's happening, we're getting into a brand new group of people, my friends, that I am more afraid of now than ever. And that is the people who use the litmus test for Israel as the new Trump, whatever. Let me explain. I believe that people truly, and I mean this, I believe that people truly feel that there is one way or the other of looking at what's happening, either quote pro-Israel or quote pro-Palestinian, and that they are looking for a new method, a new means, a new behavior, a new means to limit and to shelve people like they did during the Trump era. I think what they're trying to do is they love, not these fine people, of course, but the world is now says, we don't really have Trump anymore. I like the rejection. I like the exile. I like sending people to political Elba, so to speak. I like this. Let's find a new group that we can split up, us versus them. And it's the Israel issue right now. And this may sound extremely wishy-washy. This may sound extremely, I don't know what the word is, But my position on that is that I am absolutely, positively, 100% feeling and empathic and sympathetic and saddened for the people, especially the women and children and older folks and regular men of Gaza, who never signed on to this, who are nonetheless living in a place that has been identified as the capital of Hamas. And I feel for the innocent Israelis who were attacked brutally by this terroristic cancer called Hamas. Now, for those people who are listening, you might say to yourself, how is it that you can think both? Easily. I don't know why it's difficult. What's the big deal? First, people take themselves so seriously. Number one, do you know that if you have no particular opinion as to Israel, Hamas, Palestine, it doesn't matter, because you, believe it or not, I hate to tell you, are not involved in the selection process, or you are not involved in the political aspects of determining a finality of this particular issue. You're not in the Knesset, you're not in the Senate, you're not anywhere, you're not. So you don't feel like you have to come up with an opinion lest the world, be held in abeyance prior to your brilliance. Doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Let me see if I can explain that to you. It doesn't work that way. You don't have to. Sometimes there's so much hubris. They say, well, what's your position? Well, I don't know about your position. Excuse me. Who are you? Why must you have an opinion? Why must you have a position? I don't understand where this comes from. People really take themselves far too seriously. I'm sorry to say, I apologize. I don't mean to be rude, but people are far too taken by this. That's number one. Number two, there are people who believe and want to see Donald Trump as president. These are the most rational people. These are the most, I think, sapient, the most rational, I think I said rational people around, who want to go back to a time in which people respected us, respected our country, respected our wherewithal, respected the way we were treated, the way things were then. And moreover, there was a group of people so disgusted, so thoroughly disgusted with every aspect of this current administration. Whatever you want to call this, they are so disgusted by the rampant criminality, by this incredible this corruption. It's beyond anything. People who were so disgusted. Good people I met. Good people, solid people, people who, by virtue of, it was so sad. Let me tell you what it amounts to. I met with a group of folks who basically are meeting. I felt like I was a part of the resistance or something, that we were revolutionaries in our own country, who by virtue of where we were, it might be different now. I don't know now. Let me tell you something, my friends. Let me tell you something. That part of our world that shut us down has not gone anywhere. Don't think things are better by any stretch of the imagination. Don't think that any of this is better. It's not. We need you. We need brave, interesting, different people. We need bold and exciting and smart and informed leadership in terms of news and information. We don't need the same people saying the same thing, playing to the same CPAC crowd. Right now, you have in the world of predominant cable news messaging, which unfortunately, by virtue of habit, tradition, and history, people are still listening to. There's this beef between, I guess, Fox News and Newsmax, and maybe they're kind of going after each other. You're starting to hear more and more. And what you're doing is you're hearing people who say things like, "Oh, I like, I don't know, Greg Kelly," or I don't watch Newsmax, but something like that. "Oh, I like him." And I'm thinking, "Wait a minute. What do you mean you like him? What are you learning? What are you learning? What do you know about this?" I spoke last night to some of the most, and I say this with all respect, some of the most enlightened people who knew, who, put it this way, not knew nothing, but had heard nothing about huge swaths of information. I can see whenever I mention bricks or bricks plus 6, that's when I get you. And there's always somebody. There was one particular gentleman in the group who's from a foreign country, and I could tell. And you can always tell European types who have a different perspective, especially those who've lived through things. I try to explain. So one of the things you will never see on Fox or any CNN for the matter is a map. You never see maps. You never hear anybody saying, this is why this particular piece of geography is important. You never see that. You never hear that. I don't know why that is. I live in a world right now where I'm sitting around. I want to scream. I want to go through the streets with bells and with not necessarily Paul Revere, but Israel Bissell. I want to announce. I want to say, not the British are coming, but one of my land. And I want people to wake up and to understand what's happening here. And I'm not going to get them to ever do this if they are stuck in a cable news world. Cable news is la la land. Cable news is to news what a fashion window is in terms of, I don't know, cable news is, I don't know what the word is. I don't know. They don't know anything. This morning I was listening very, very, very early by virtue of the time changes. And I mentioned this, 2 in particular. It's not the be-all, end-all. But if you want to know what's going on in Israel, you cannot watch anything here. You have to go elsewhere. You have to go and you have to hear viewpoints from people, technically, theoretically, Asian, European, and the like. I think Weon is terrific. I think First Post is great. I want to hear what France 24. You are not going to hear what's going on. If you hear, and this is important, if you hear pro-Palestinian or pro-Israeli points of view, you're going to hear the world viewed from that particular vantage point. You're missing the point. You have to hear from necessarily sometimes detractors and the like. Let me stop right now. Let me stop. Let me remind you, first of all, let me thank you. Thank you for you being here. Let me thank you for your being a part of this. Let me thank you for this really important participation that you're involved in. And again, thank you for liking and everything. But first, I'm going to tell you about a couple of incredibly important sponsors. And right now, more than ever, I think right now, you need to hear this information now, perhaps more than ever. Let me try this one. That's a nice day. How about this way? There we go. This one. My friend, I can tell you right now that the 3 most important things in your life and your family's life is food, water, and energy. We'll talk about the energy later. We'll talk about the water later, though it's a part of this. But the food part, I got that part covered for you. In the event of a breakdown, in the event of either a supply chain breakdown, unrest, martial law, who knows, strikes, name it, forest fires, tsunamis. Shall I go on? Shall I give you a list of every possible disaster that could result in stores being closed, in food not being available? You have got to prepare right now. Remember, there was years ago, people laughed at the notion of a prepper. Oh, you're a prepper. You're a lunatic. I don't think so. Look at what we're talking about right now. If you go to preparewithlionel.com, you can save $200 off a 3-month emergency food kit. And what are we talking about? Take a look at this. Look at that. Imagine you trying your best to replicate this. This is 120 pounds of food with a 25-year shelf life. Look at those buckets, water resistant. Think about this. You've got oxygen absorber pouches. Look at the food, 21 varieties of food, 21 varieties. It's incredible. 2,000 calories a day. I'm not kidding around, my friend. I can't say this enough. There was a time years ago when people said prepping. Go to Prepare with Lionel right now and save on this deal $200 off a 3-month emergency food kit. Now, the specific link is in the description section and in the comment section, or you can go to preparewithlionel.com right now. Preparewithlionel.com right now. Preparewithlionel.com. This makes so much sense, my friends, because let me tell you something. It's better to have food and not need it than need it and not have it. And there you have it, my friend. You can't be any clearer than that. Now let's go back to a few things here. First of all, when I was speaking last night, I mentioned something, and whenever I talk about this, people in crowds go crazy. They go crazy because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to think about it. They don't like the idea of this. I said, but if I had to bet my money on this right now, if I had to bet my money, by the way, Silver Fox, yeah. So I'm guessing you'll be invited back. And oh, will I ever? You are correct. I should have made that very, very clear. I've made some friends. One of the things, Silver, that they found out, which is very interesting, was whenever I said, if I'm a betting man, I think what I probably would do is if I had to bet money, if I had to go to Paddy Power or one of these folks, I would most probably involve myself in what would amount to, how do I say this? Probably Gavin Newsom. And when you said that, people they think that what I said was, I want him. I like him. I think he's doing a good job. No. We have a corrupt system, a broken electoral system. We have people who are involved in things I do not understand. I do not understand. We have people who believe in this notion, in this crazy thing called it's actually the California Mafia. And it's Newsom, Brown, D'Alessandro, Pelosi, and the Getty family. These are ready to spring on board. He is the perfect presenter of the issue, presenter of the claims, presenter of the theory. He's not befuddled. He won't act like a fool. And more importantly, he'll do a much better job doing what he has to do to make people understand. Okay, fine. So what I'm saying to people, and what's incredible to note, what is important to understand is very simply this. There is a marketable, absolutely tenable group of people who still believe, not necessarily these great folks last night, but people who believe that goodness and correctness win the day, that they win the day, that it's about what is good for this country, what's right for this country, whatever. This is what they believe. This is what they truly believe. They believe that because Gavin Newsom somehow is evil or unable to handle the office of president, that he won't be elected because somehow logic will dictate, logic will run, and logic will prevent him from being selected by a corrupt Democratic organization and what have you. This is what people believe. And I said, no, I'm not saying I like this, but they realized we've got to pick somebody who's not as corrupt. Put it this way. Do you realize that if Gavin Newsom had been Joe Biden, if it was Gretchen Whitmer, if it was somebody else who was a vice president, who knew what they were doing, who granted might have been not to your liking, but assume for the sake of argument, assume that there was this group of folks out there who happened to know what they were doing, who happened to recognize the importance of the particular message. Assume this to be true. Do you know how much different it would be? How much deadlier it would be? Do you have any idea of how frightening this would be? If you had right now, if Gavin Newsom, who was relatively clean, the only thing anybody would say, he was a governor of California, whatever this, and mayor of San Francisco. He was married to Kimberly Gill, whatever that. I don't think anybody cares about that. And he just, but he's able to deliver the message. He's not taking money from China, not taking money from Russia. He's not doing this. Do you know how much better the world would be? Yes. Now listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not asking you if you like him. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you there is no Democrat you will like. So when I say this to you, don't respond with, but he's going to destroy our country. They're all going to destroy our country. That's not the answer. But because what you're doing is you're implying that you understand there's this rule of nature that somehow will overwhelm, that will how do I say this? This rule of nature that will overcome, that will, I don't know what the word is, that will correct problem. I mean, it doesn't matter what you think. Yes, I understand that he is a terrible person. He did some terrible things. We know this. The question is, the Democrats are going to have to put someone up. Who is that person? It's going to be Gavin Newsom. Number two, if they put Gavin Newsom up, can they cheat using the rules? Yes. Can they get him elected? Yes. Is this possible? Yes. Do you recognize this? Yes. Let me say this again. This is important. We're not here to discuss whether we like him. Of course we don't like him. That's not the issue. The issue is what's going to happen in November of 2024. We're like, 13 months away, roughly, right? No, actually, we're close to about a year away. What am I saying? So focus the way you think about this. What is going to happen? Number one. Number two, what are they going to do? They're going to say, this is not Joe Biden. 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 Do you hear what I'm saying? They're going to keep telling you this. This is not Joe Biden. They're going to keep saying this over and over and over and over. Don't worry, they're going to tell you. That was then. We learned our lesson. No, he was corrupt. That was that was Joe Biden. Please, that was Joe Biden. This is different. Don't worry. Joe Biden's different. Joe Biden's special. No. Joe Biden, different. He's gone. We have Gavin Newsom now. He's smart. He's young. He's rational. And what also Gavin Newsom's going to do is he's going to tell you things such as, and this is important, he is going to say things to you like, we cannot let crime and drugs and homelessness take over. But you say, but wait, but you did this in California. It doesn't matter. It's different. And people will say, I like it. Next, the Republican nominee is going to be Trump. Is the country going to allow that? Fact, there are more Trump fans than you can imagine. Fact, there are more Trump fans and folks that you could ever imagine. There are more. There are more fans. There are more than you can imagine. Are you ready for this? Do you think the mainstream media will allow him? No. Is he going to get a break? No. Do you think the GOP is going to be behind him? No. Who is the GOP behind? Who knows and who cares? What do they stand for? I have no idea. I don't even know what. I'm not even sure what they can't even vote. They can't even select a Speaker of the House. Stop what you're saying. No one is asking you what you think. Learn this, the practical procedures of this. Understand what is happening. It is important right now for Trump to focus and to craft his message. Do you agree? He is wasting time. Get off Truth Social. Who cares about Truth Social? This is a petulant, silly, childish exercise. You need from now on to start going into I'm the candidate mode. I don't want to hear the president of the United States necessarily, as you go into election mode, making fun of people. You don't have to make fun of prosecutors. You don't have to do any of that. You're going to have to act like a president. You can be Trump, but act like a president. You have to disassociate yourself from your family, specifically Don Jr. He's a loudmouth and a big mouth and does more to hurt you. He's great promoting his brand. He's great promoting to the diehard Trumpies. That's not it. Get him out of there. Get him out of the White House. And if you win, Ivanka and Jared in particular, all of them have to go. You're your own man this time. You're going to have to surround yourself with brilliant people, smart people, business people, political people who know how the game is played and how it's rigged. Do you understand what I am saying? They have to know how it's played and how it is going on. Do you understand this? Do you recognize this? I want you to take your provincial sense of politics, this Newsmax, Fox News, CNN, whatever this childish nursery school la land of cable news juvenescence, and forget that. What is going to be the position of the government in terms of the Middle East from now on? What is our position? Who is going? Check out Drudge today has a great piece, what I've been telling you right now, how MBS and Saudi Arabia have been trying from the beginning to craft the message, to craft the focus, to craft everything as to what's going on right now. Listen to it. I can't say it enough. I can't explain it enough. I can't put it into words enough. I can't say enough how important this is. I can't tell you enough. I can't. This is critical. How does the United States work in a world of BRICS plus 6? How do we do this? I guarantee you, you are never, ever, ever going to hear anything on Fox News and especially Newsmax. It's kindergarten. It's babyfied. It's juvenescent, puerile, silly, sophomoric, base, amateurish, simplistic. It is garbage. Do you hear what I'm saying? Garbage. They don't get it. The level of complexity of what we are facing in the world right now is beyond anything that we're going on. What is being done to mandate election integrity? Nothing. What has been done? What has Jim Jordan and his band of lunatics, what have they done? What has anybody done to make sure that we don't see 2020 again? What is Dinesh D'Souza going to have another? I had some Dinesh D'Souza, whom I like and think the world of. But all his videos don't make a lick of difference. Documentaries don't matter. Doesn't matter. We know all about that. What's being done? What? What is happening to our free speech? What is happening to our free speech? I was talking last night, and there was a woman, and I said something. I don't know what it was. Again, it was about Israel. And somebody said, I disagree. And I said, hashtag, so what? I love when people say, well, you know, I may not agree with you. So what? What are you, the Knesset? Are you the Likud party? Are you what, the capital? What are you exactly? What do you think you are? Who are you? What does this mean? You know, I don't agree with you. I don't care. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Say what you want. And what really gets people crazy is that we're a country that supposedly believes in free speech, but we want to just forever kill, from a career point of view, these idiot kids who say stupid things at Harvard about Israel. Now, you may think that's worthy of the death penalty. I don't. Sorry. Right now, as we speak, Section 230 is under attack. Do you think Trump is able? He probably knows this better than anybody. There is an insidious interference between the government and free speech platforms. We better do something about it right now. We have to completely revamp, refurbish, recalibrate, and rewrite the rules that we have regarding freedom of speech in the long run. Mainstream media is a joke. It is an absolute bad joke. The level of surveillance, privacy violations that we are seeing is beyond anything. What happens next when we have when we deal with, or perhaps have the next, dare I say, the next COVID crisis? Are you ready for this? What is the official stance regarding your ability right now? Let me ask you, what does the government say? What does the Constitution say about your ability to refuse to take a vaccine based upon your religious beliefs? What is it? Tell me. Any idea? Of course not. Because nobody knows. It's never been answered. There was a case, Jacobson against Massachusetts, in 1905. That's as close to it, and it only dealt with a fine. It didn't deal with the substantive right that you have as an individual to refuse this. This isn't going anywhere. What happens then? This is the end of the GOP. For those of you who believe, by the way, remember, you've got two groups of people right now. You've got Fox News, you got Newsmax vying for who wins holds the mantle, so to speak, to the legacy of Roger Ailes. Who is it? I'm going to say something to you, and I want you to listen to me. The Republican Party, the GOP, political parties, political ideology, political ideation, political vectors are not determined by a news station, by a cable news channel. I've never seen anything like it. There are people who actually believe that somehow, and maybe I don't know how, but they believe that somehow you are, your political ideology is best served by a television network, by a cable news network. Are you kidding me? I've never seen anything like it. Oh, I saw Greg Kelly on news. I keep saying Greg Kelly. I've never seen Greg Kelly. I know who he is, but I don't know. But it's the only name that comes to mind. I don't know who else is on. So I'm just going to say that. Oh, I said Greg Kelly. I have a friend of mine who actually talks like that. I said, what is Greg Kelly? I like Greg Kelly. I said, what? Stop telling me you like Greg. What is his message? What do you care? I don't. I mentioned last night this great group of people. I said, there is something here called this is important. It's called the Great Reset. Klaus Schwab brought it up. And I think they knew who it was. Klaus Schwab and World Economic Forum. I said, this is one of the most important things in the world. I said, oh, and by the way, I said, I hope you better abandon this notion of abolishing abortion as a platform. You're not going to win. If you want to abolish abortion in this country, politically, you're dead. You understand that, right? I don't want to hear all this stuff about, well, See, this is a perfect example. As you said, as I said before, the test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two seemingly opposed ideas, two inconsistent ideas in the mind and not lose the ability to function. Scott Fitzgerald said this. And I have said that I believe that a human life is born at conception, is a human life. A human life is alive and enjoys the status as a human being from the moment of conception. But because of this weird thing called gestation and pregnancy and the like, it's a little different. Because you have a concomitant issue there, and that is of the mother. You can say no, it doesn't matter. You can consider a woman to be just a vessel, just a womb, just a kind of like the landlord, so to speak, of this. In any event, however you look at it, no matter your particular position on this, I am telling you right now, listen to me and listen carefully. You are missing the point if you don't understand that this is this is the death knell of the Republican Party. If you dare to make as your position, if Donald Trump says, and if you vote for me, we are going to crush, we are going to destroy, we're going to kill, we're going to ablate and remove a woman's right at the federal and state level, because it's at the federal level, but at the state level, we're going to go into every state and we're going to move and we're going to elect people that will, you're killing yourself. You might as well just say goodbye to the whole thing. You want to win or don't you? If it means a lot to you, sorry is the way it goes. And what I'm telling you, what I'm trying to explain to you is the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation, which unfortunately is sometimes a little bit difficult for people to take, difficult for people to understand. But this is something which is critical. Border integrity. We're going to have tyranny on our, not tyranny, but we're going to have terrorism on our, we have it here to an extent, but you're going to see Sinaloa cartels and the Zetas, whatever, who are going to be working with Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis. You're going to hear militias. You're going to see an amalgamation of evil, the likes of which you have never even imagined so far in your life. You are not, if you don't understand that Hamas is worldwide, this is not about the Middle East. This is not about, there is nothing better than for Hamas, and we'll just use them as a collective term, has Hamas to instill violence against us here and then tell you, the American people, you're going to have to suffer because your government has decided to align itself with Joe Biden or with this anti-Palestinian position. So you're going to suffer. That's going to put pressure on it like you can't believe. The battleground for today is not the battlefield, but social media. That's where the battle is. The world is overwhelmingly pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel. Overwhelming. Are you not paying attention? Are you not paying attention? Do you hear these people? Overwhelming. What are we going to do? Think about this. What are we going to do? We're lucky. We're not seeing jihadists hitting here yet, but they're in our country. They're already here. They are in our country. They are already here before us. And I'm telling you, you're going to have to ask. And people who never really had any position on Israel, Palestine, if they are presented with the fact, if they are, whether I'm not saying this is correct, but if they believe that aligning yourself with Israel is puts America in harm's way, let me rephrase this. If people believe that aligning with Israel puts us in harm's way and makes us susceptible and vulnerable to terrorist attack, you're going to see a movement that says detach support, remove support, disengage from Israel because of the suffering that we are having by virtue of our allegiance. That's coming. What are you going to do about this? What's Trump going to do about this? What's the Democratic Party going to do after? Do you think the Democratic Party is behind this? It's so interesting. How does this thing work? Rishi Sunak UK Prime Minister has been overwhelmingly, unabashedly, unreservedly pro Israel. It's fascinating. Where is this going? I don't understand. There is something that is happening, and I can't figure it out. And you're also seeing these inconsistent statements. You're hearing Biden and others say things like, please, Netanyahu, please back off a little bit. Wait for the ground. Wait for the attack. Wait. And that doesn't work that way. My friend, let me ask you to stand by for a second. Stand by for 1 second. Because I thank you for always for watching us and for paying attention to our particular message. But now we have a very, very important word from another one of our great sponsors. Dear friend, I want to talk to you about my dear friend, our dear friend, America's dear friend, Mike Lindell and MyPillow.com. Right now, if you go and you use promo code Lionel, you will receive a free gift. I know what you're saying. Aren't all gifts free? Tautological? Fine, sue me. But if you go and you use promo code Lionel, check this baby out right now. Look at this. Look at the deals that are available, and they change daily like you cannot believe. You've got pillows and percales, and you've got the slippers. The slippers. Who knew? I'm telling you right now, go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, and let me say this. And I want you to listen to me. The quality is fantastic. The items are loved. You will luxuriate, I'm telling you, within the confines of your linens and your duvets and your slippers and your PJs and everything like that. But aside from that, on a personal note, the message of this man, the pride, the story, the intrepidity of this man who dares to speak his mind, you might not like it, but the last time I checked, this was America. So not only for the quality of the goods, not only for your absolute, again, luxuriation, but the man behind the scene. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. I think it's more than just a company. It's more than just about comfort. It's about a message, a very critical message. And there you have it. How brilliant was that? How perfect was that? I could not have said it better myself. In fact, I think I just did. So, my friends, moving on down the line, here we are today as we begin this wonderful week, this new week before us. We're wondering what is happening. I mentioned last night also, I still think you should watch new and different means of news collation and the like. First Post, WION, CCTV, Palki Sharma and others, RT, CCTV, France 24, Al Jazeera, everything and anything, BBC, anything, especially if it is foreign, if it is alternative, if it is citizen, civilian, and alternative. My friend, the Uniparty and the illusion of the left-right paradigm is with us right now. It is like nothing we have ever seen because remember, you are going to be, whatever you saw, whatever you were told, whatever you were told to believe initially regarding the first incarnation of this mess that we're in, it's going to be brought back even more so. All right, dear friends, thank you so very much. Thank you for this. A Hillbilly, Silver Fox, you were terrific. I thank you for your time and your courtesy and your warmth and your generosity and your beauty and your vivacity and your equanimity, your equipoise. I love the fact that you're able to attend to so many seemingly inconsistent issues without losing your mind. Thank you for that. Thank you for recognizing the fact that truth is not necessarily what it's cracked up to be, because the question is, whose truth is it after all? Have a great day, my friends. See you later tonight, 7 p.m. Don't ever change me that sincerely. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.